All right, here we are, back at it again at the Krispy Kreme 2. Actually, funny, I should bring that meme up. Here in Minnesota, where I live, just nearby, they finally opened their first Krispy Kreme in who knows how long. It's the only Krispy Kreme location in Minnesota for the time being. But, like, it's finally back. It's been years since they've had a Krispy Kreme here, and I'm so excited. I want to go, and I want to have a donut. I haven't had a Krispy Kreme since, like, I took a trip to Branson, Missouri a few years ago. So I'm, like, I need my Krispy Kreme fix. Anyway, donuts aside, how are y'all doing today? Welcome to the stream. I can see that Rads is here. Rads is a fellow Homestuck artist. They were also in the Sockon Artist Alley, and they're really big on the intermission, just like I am, and so they're like an artist that I've low-key been looking up to for a long while, so I'm super happy to have them in here. So hello, make yourself at home. Feel free to, like, look around. If you're curious about, like, stuff that you can do in the stream to interact with it, you can do, like, exclamation mecha, like the name of the chat bot, just without the little periods, and it should take you to the chat bot's Tumblr page, which is full of, like, a bunch of different commands that you can redeem. I try to make these streams as, like, fun and interactive for you guys as possible, so I hope that I'm succeeding in doing that. Doki, not Stack Attacka again, god damn it. How many times? I guess you must have misspelled it. Katie says, just got me a pizza, couldn't find a pizza cutter, so got a knife. Just make sure that you're not dressed in purple and around any, like, pizza restaurants full of kids right now. Happy says, I've been chilling, just studying on some art. And, those of y'all in, like, my close friend circle know this, but for other people, y'all don't know this. Well, maybe I, like, I did show, like, a tiny bit of it, but I've been chipping away at that one piece of, Daetric, like, sitting on his throne and stuff, and it's still not quite finished yet, but I'm making good progress on it. I might, if I have any, like, extra time and energy after working on the commission, I might see if I can finish that piece on stream. But yeah, that's something. Yeah, please no, Whale Lord. I'll take Stack Attacka over Whale Lord any day. That thing was huge. Anyway, what else is up in my neck of the woods? This is, like, a very minor thing. I'm really only bringing this up because I don't know what else to talk about. But, like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to y'all before, but I kind of struggle with, executive dysfunction sometimes, and, like, especially in regards to, like, chores, I guess, that need doing. And, like, the biggest bane of my existence is, like, washing the dishes, right? And embarrassingly, I have had, like, dishes on my counter and in my sink for, like, the past couple of weeks, and for the past couple of weeks I've been like, why don't I clean this? And finally, over the last couple of days, I took down that mountain of dishes. It's gone. It's clean. I did the thing. So, like, small victory, but small victories are also worth celebrating, I think. A lot of us could stand to remember that, especially in this day and age, I feel. Like, just because you do something that's, like, expected of you, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of praise for doing the thing. Because you still did the thing. And sometimes that's a big deal. Yes, I have scaled the mountain of dishes. Y'all have no idea how big it was. Like, I think the fact that it took me 2 days to tackle the thing of dishes should give you a little indicator. And I really only have, like, a small few left. Like, I think a few pieces of silverware and, like a drink thing that's, like, in the shape of a pumpkin. A tap, like a, you know, it has that little tap at the bottom, and you flick it up, and it puts the drink out into your cup, and it's shaped like a pumpkin. I mean, imagine being so cool and epic and doing the dishes. Yes, we are, everybody who does the dishes, we are all cool and epic, and we did the dishes. Huzzah! See, other things that have been going on here. There hasn't really, again, with like me, you know, streaming more often, it's hard for me to come up with things that have been like going on in my personal life to talk about. So if you don't mind me asking what's going on with y'all, just like, you know, obviously try to keep it to positive things. This isn't a space to, like, you know, come and vent or anything. This is a place of positivity. At least I hope it is. I do my best to, like, I've done my best over the years to kind of cultivate, you know, my channel and my Discord server and yada yada, so that it's a positive place for people. And, like, it's relaxing and soothing, and, like, you know, sometimes we get into silly, goofy moods here, but more than anything, I want this to be a place where people can just come and be themselves, take a deep breath, and just relax, because I think we all need that. Had a cathartic call with my therapist yesterday, hoping to get more stuff built in Minecraft. I am always glad to hear that people are, you know, going to therapy and stuff. And I'm glad that therapy is becoming something that's, like, less stigmatized and more normalized. Because, like, I remember back in my day when therapy used to be considered a bad thing. Because it meant, I guess back then it meant that, oh, you must be kind of screwy in the head, huh? And it's like, I think we could all use therapy. It's not bad. Looks like Rads is going to a con next weekend. I wonder what con you're going to. If you feel so inclined to share, feel free to. Yeah, is everybody going after Doki and the Stack-Attacka? I'm glad that, like, you know, y'all's Pokemon attacking each other is, like, you know, a lighthearted thing, just like the slap command in the chat. Oh, you're going to a convention too? Midnight? Sorry if it takes me a minute to, like, say your name. I'm just, like, I'm still adjusting from your last one, so a little grace period is appreciated. Colossal Con North, Big Party Con. I think I might have heard of Colossal Con, but I can't remember. Unfortunately, I have the memory of a goldfish. Honestly, I don't think I've been to a convention since, like, last year. I don't think I was able to go to any conventions at all this year, just because, like, you know, money-wise, things get kind of tight here and there. But I'll look for some cons that are happening in the Twin Cities areas, just to see what all I can do. Lynxcat says, I want to use the slap command, but I still need that 10 Stardust. Well, luckily, just like, you know, watching and engaging with the chat and like all that sort of stuff does help to build up the amount of Stardust that you have. So the more that you know, chat amongst each other, the more Stardust you will eventually accumulate. And that'll help you to redeem commands. Yep, just watch and chat, literally it. Motherfucking miracles. It's in Wisconsin, so fair. I'm doing like a 5-hour drive for it. Yeah, I think I must have heard of it when I was looking for conventions in the Midwest, because like I'm in the Midwest, and I know it's probably that startled me. I'm not gonna lie, but if you, I know it's a longer like journey for you probably, but if you ever happen to like find yourself back in the Twin Cities for some cons and stuff, maybe we can plan a little meetup or something. And that goes for any of the Starlings. If y'all happen to find yourselves at a con within the Twin Cities and you think I might be going, ask me. Maybe we can have a meetup if I go. I don't know. It's all just a maybe. Yeah, chicks, if you've never heard of the Twin Cities, there are 2 cities in Minnesota that are right next to each other, and there's like, I think like 1 or 2 million people in like the Twin Cities total. It's Minneapolis and St. Paul, and I live within that general area. It's not necessarily like in the cities, just like around it, if that makes sense. But like, yeah, that's my general location. And so that's usually where I try to find, you know, cons and things to do and stuff, because it's just easiest for me to get around stuff in the Twin Cities. Maple coffee sounds delicious. Yes, Minnesota, which is a state in the United States of America, where I unfortunately live, and I will not be talking about that in any further discussion, lest I bring down the mood of the chat. Oh, you're in Minnesota too. I guess I thought you lived like further away for some reason, but like, yeah, if we end up going to the same con, let's definitely see if we can like meet up and say hi and such. My little soda pop. On the topic of K-pop demon hunters, if anyone was wondering who my favorite Saja boy is, because obviously I'm biased a little more to the Saja boys than I am to Huntrix, because I'm a homosexual. But if anyone was wondering who my favorite of the Saja boys is, even though I like Genu the most as like a character, it's honestly just because he, you know, has the most screen time and the most like character development and stuff. But like appearance and voice wise and all that sort of stuff, my favorite Saja boy is Mystery, and it's for a very stupid reason. And that stupid reason is that Mystery looks pretty much exactly like a Hypno-Gijinga. Like a humanized version of the Pokemon Hypno. He looks like it. And I'm biased. I'm willing to fully admit that I'm biased. Yeah, it's like, raise your hand in the chat if you're at all surprised about this, and then just nobody raises their hands. Also, one reason that I'm glad that K-pop Demon Hunters got as popular as it did is because Sungwon Cho is in it, Pro ZD. He's one of the Saja boys. I think he's like Abby, and he's like the speaking voice for him. Not the singing voice, I believe, but the speaking voice. And I'm just like, it makes me so proud that he got to be part of something that's so big. Because it's like, I remember when this dude was making vines and, like, wasn't a part of any major projects. He was just a small-time content creator, and now he's doing, like, all these voices in, like, movies and cartoons and video games, and he's really making a name for himself, and I am so happy for him. You're meeting Pro ZD at the con? That's awesome. See if you can, like, get a picture or something, like a selfie. Vine might be coming back? Excuse me? You want to elaborate on that a little more? Let's see, Midnight says, Mark want to know something else about Germany. Yeah, feel free to tell me. Yeah, that generation of Pokemon that you're looking for, Katie, might not be available. I think that the only generations available are 1 through 7, if I remember right. So apologies, but it might not be available. Oh yeah, I love Aldi too. I go there pretty much every week. Ex-Twitter CEO is funding Vine. It's basically the same exact thing, and is making a deal to mention that there won't be any AI within it. That is awesome, and I can't wait to see how this develops. I've never heard of Little when it comes to, like, stores and stuff, though. Oh, and hey, if I may discuss this for like 0.5 seconds, I'm not somebody who like actively watches Has Been Hotel. It's like it's not something that I dislike, but I'm also just kind of like eh. But for the most part, I don't watch it. I just see like clips of it appear on my TikTok For You page, and Like, if yes, little mild spoiler warning. This isn't any like big story thing. This is just a mild spoiler warning. But apparently in like one of the more recent episodes, there was like a part where Angel Dust was like dressed in drag and singing like a lounge song, kind of similar to Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I saw that, and like honestly my mind immediately went straight to the Midnight Crew homestuck brain rot that I have, and just like mentally pictured Diamond's Droog in drag singing that song for a shocked Spade Slick in the audience, who is just like, you know, looking at Droog the same way that Husk was looking at Angel Dust. Because it's like, you can't tell me that that's not something that would happen in like, you know, in the Midnight Crew, in their casino, no less. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a funny mental image, and I know that there's a good number of Homestucks in the chat. Sorry for the squeak, I'm just adjusting the way I sit. But yes, Midnight Crew mention, I have loved the Slick Droog ship for like over a decade at this point. As a matter of fact, Rads, I don't know if you know about this, but not only was the Act 3 intermission the thing that got me into Homestuck in the first place, but also I a few years ago, to celebrate 413, I did a live stream with a few friends of mine, a few online friends of mine, where, like, you know, these are people who had never read Homestuck at that point. And I was like, hey, reading the intermission takes probably like an hour or two tops. Let's do like a fun little stream where we read it and you react to it. And we did that. And after that, they were like, we need to read more Homestuck. And so that's how I like had started to organize the Let's Read Homestuck with Friends live stream series. And now we have all read the whole thing on the streams. We finished it like what was it, like 2 years ago at this point? That's crazy. Or maybe it was just like one, I can't remember. But it's been a hot minute since we finished it. And I'm a little embarrassed too, because I'm like, hey, we're gonna be reading Problem Sleuth next, and then I never finished anyone's avatars for Problem Sleuth, and so we haven't read it yet still. But I still have the unofficial Homestuck collection on my computer, and if I ever do get around to finishing those avatars, I do still want us to read Problem Sleuth, but I'm so busy with like a billion other things, and I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, that's the story of how I got my friends into Homestuck. It's so funny that, like, the intermission was what got me into Homestuck, too, because, like, I had a friend in high school who was trying to get me into it, and they were showing me, like, you know, the humans and the trolls and, like, all these other things and da-da-da-da-da, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not too sure. And then in comes these sharp-dressed noir types, and immediately I was just like that neuron-activated meme, like that monkey that's just like, ooh. Because I'm gonna be real, all my life I've loved a sharp-dressed man. I can't deny the allegations. I love a man in a suit. Why would you slap me with a steel chair? That's awfully rude. Alright, so it's been about 25 minutes, so I think that's enough time for catching up and stuff, so let me just mosey on over to this screen. Doki, if you wouldn't mind changing your Pokemon to something a little smaller. And today, the commission is to change the design of this troll. Basically, like, update it in a way. And the information that the client has told me is like, they're an avid conspiracy theorist and enjoy taxidermy. For some reason, a bunch of people think they're a cannibal, probably because they've been seen stealing bodies, but it's actually for their private taxidermy collection, so it's fine. The only thing for sure is that they want the hair shorter and choppier. For the rest, I have basically creative freedom and artistic liberties with this character. So it's going to be an interesting stream for sure. I think really quick though, I'm just gonna head over here and turn off my fan. I've had it on since the start, but like it's getting a little bit cool for my tastes now, so I'm just gonna click that off real quick. There we go, sitting back down. But yeah, like, I was kind of thinking of, for this character, like giving them kind of a patchwork coat that kind of looks like it's made up of a bunch of different, I don't want to say, like, I don't know whether to say materials or skins, but like either way, I feel like patchwork coat might be fitting. And like, yeah, Kane mentioned bones, and I'm unsure if I want to include bones. Probably not. See. If this is your first time watching me stream, and you notice that I get kind of quiet when I start to draw, this is normal, and I typically refer to it as entering focus mode. I figure for this commission, I kind of want to emulate this sort of style, so that's what I'm going for. Maybe bring this leg down a teensy bit. Bits of bones for the buttons of the coat. I could imagine like tooth buttons, I suppose. Why is it just getting the guideline for the face? It's kind of hard sometimes. I love doing little T-Rex arms like this. Hey guys, is he, you know... Let's see. Not quite. Yeah, like since the client mentioned that this troll is like a conspiracy theorist, I feel like he should be, you know, kind of doing a little bit of thinking, but also like have this sort of mischievous expression. All right, good night, chicks. It was good to have you around. Honestly, I considered the tinfoil hat, but I feel like that might have been a bit cliched. So I think I'm gonna leave out the tinfoil hat. But something that I had in mind instead is goggles. Not necessarily like on the eyes so much as like over them, kind of like a headband. Just to like, you know, scooch down if ever they feel the need. Just a slight rotation. Maybe shrink them down just a tiny bit. It's like there should be fine. How many slots were open, by the way? Like, I know it's about 4 slots open now. I had 8 slots for commissions open, and I do still have 4 slots remaining, as you mentioned. So if anyone is interested in a commission, my rates are pretty low compared to most other people who take commissions. And odds are I'll end up working on your commission on stream if that's an incentive. Alright, so now that we've got a base built up, let's see about actually giving him, you know, other features. So they mentioned that they wanted the hair to be shorter and choppier. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of like use this hairstyle as like inspiration and just try to make it, you know, shorter. Don't know why it did that, but I'm gonna try to make it, you know, shorter and choppier. Though I think first it might not be a bad idea for me to put those goggles in place. Just so I can know, like, how the goggles and the hair are going to be interacting. Maybe a skull necklace? I don't know. I'm still just playing around right now. Oh, you gotta go to work, Doki? Okay, bye. Have a good day at work. Be sure to drop a comment on the stream once you're out of work. There we go. I think this is looking pretty nice so far. Let me see if I can clean up the lines just a smidge. Oh, not that much. This is looking good. I'm thinking maybe like a couple of bags under the eyes, perhaps. Like he's been awake for a few days. Right, now for the coat. Definitely something that should be like kind of big and baggy, I think. I'm gonna gather all these up in a folder here, just so I can better see the lines of the coat. Nice coat. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Hi, Roxas. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. How are you? Why must you slap Roxas with an old moldy sausage? It's not polite. Who raised you? I'm gonna tell your mom. Yeah, I wanted the patches to look like uneven and stuff on purpose. On the cups. Take a quick sip. All right, there we go. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the sip redeem. I will take another sip here in just a moment. Just as soon as I finish making the patches for this section here. Yeah, I have a few different sound redeems. Would you, Rads? Would you like to hear what the loudest sound redeem is? Alright, if someone would kindly redeem Jackenstein. You know what sound command it is, chat. It's your favorite. There it is. Alright, so there's the coat, and Roxas, if you were curious about why I'm giving this guy a patchwork coat, it's because the person who commissioned me said that they're into taxidermy and stuff, and so I was like, I feel like a very patchworked coat would be fitting for a character like this. As well as, like, some goggles and stuff. And low-key, I want there to be a little bit more going on about their face, but I'm not quite sure what else yet. I'm still just in the sketching phase, so I'm kind of figuring stuff out, but I'm thinking maybe, like, dark circles or something. I would especially love to fill this space up with something, but I don't know what. Because I don't think they want, you know, facial hair for this troll. Maybe scars or cuts? Maybe. Thought of a mask like a doctor's mask, but don't know if that's too much. Stone cut people get. Backpack / satchel full of files. That's a good idea. Maybe the backpack that's like full of files and stuff can also have a pocket for like sewing materials too. Because it's like you never know when you're gonna find a good specimen for turning into taxidermy. I do like the idea of, like, the current outfit that they have, like, the pants that are tucked into boots. I might make them, like, see if I can make them a little messier, if that makes sense. Like, maybe a little torn up in spots or something. Yeah, as if they've been involved in some struggles or something. I did send the stream link to the client in case they were interested in joining. Yeah, I was low-key thinking of, like, bloodstains on the boot. Ooh, gloves would be a good addition. Happy says, gonna hop off for the time being. Y'all have fun and best of luck on the Peace Mark. Thank you, Happy. Have a good rest of your day. Funny enough, during SawCon, I did sell an adoptable that was like another conspiracy theorist troll. So it's just kind of funny to me how these guys are like... You know, if I had a nickel for every conspiracy theorist troll I saw around SawCon, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. You know, Roxas, Matt Pat is a valid troll name. I hate that I just said that. Really quick, I'm going to take just a very quick BRB break, and then I'll come back and keep sketching. So sit tight, enjoy a bit of fan art, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Just needed a quick little break, and I do think I might add a couple of scars on the cheek there. Don't know if I'll stitch them because there's enough, like, stitch presence on the coat, so I think it might just be, you know, a couple of scratches. But I do think a couple of scars here be very interesting, like, visually. Alright, let's see now. About a backpack. I guess you could say if I'm going to be drawing a backpack, we'd better strap in. So, let's see, I'm thinking like a spool of thread. Maybe one of those, like, tomato pin cushions with a couple of regular pins and a sewing needle. And behind that, maybe the handles of a pair of scissors. And I can just, like, add a couple of general lump shapes to show just how full the pocket is. Bunch of papers sticking out of the top of the backpack. Then I'm thinking maybe a couple of, like, buckles on the straps too. If there's anything else y'all can think of that I could potentially add to this troll, I'm open to, like, ideas and stuff. But so far, this is looking pretty good, I think. Just kind of looking it over one more time in my mind's eye. Yeah, I feel like this is probably about as conspiracy theory as this troll can get. So I'm just gonna go ahead and merge all of the sketch layers together. Move this fella to the center. And now we can get started on line art. Easy way to do the lenses. Oops, not there. Go. Do I like doing line art? Good question. No. But I know it provides like a nice clean look that clients like. Me personally, for my own, pieces that others aren't paying for, I would much rather like just do clean sketches. But for the sake of stuff that people pay for, I'm willing to do line art. But to quote Bob from Bob's Burgers, I'm gonna complain the whole time. For me, it's like the most tedious part. My favorite part of doing art is the coloring and the rendering. Like, if I may take a quick break from this piece for just a split second, let me hop over to another piece that I'm working on, the one with King Daytrick, my like villain OC of the Trociaths, who's like, long story short, basically a space oh, how do I put this in a way that won't get me demonetized on YouTube? A space word that rhymes with Yahtzee. And this is how the piece is going so far. Obviously, I still have a good bit to go. There's like the window behind him and the banners, which I'm going to have like his like royalty symbol on them once I trace over these banners. But the throne is done, and he is done for the most part. I forgot to add his eye shine, so I'm gonna have to do that. But this is like a work in progress that's had some rendering done and the coloring done on him and the throne. So that's how this is looking so far. And like, to be fair, I didn't like draw this marble texture myself. This is just like, you know, a sort of marble texture that I nabbed off of like a different website. But I have like, you know, like altered and warped it so that it looks a little bit more believable, I guess. I did a tiny bit of warping to help with like the visuals and stuff, but I will not be doing any warping on the dang spiral like pillars there. That is too much to ask from me. But yeah, this is like, you know, coloring and rendering. But I hate working on line art. The app that I use is a program called Metabang Paint Pro, and I use the version that is free to download from the website. There is a version that's like on Steam that you have to pay like, I want to say $60 for, I think, when it's like not on sale. And I've considered getting it every now and then, just because I've heard that like you can animate with the paid version. But I have a friend who got it like in real life, and they said that like I don't think you can import sound or preview the animation like as you're working on it. You would have to like, you know, render the video and then be able to see like how your progress is doing. But like for the most part, they said it's not worth paying for that version of Metabang Paint. So it's best to just like get the free version. It may not have all the bells and whistles of the version that's on Steam, but thankfully, I mean, not thankfully, just like luckily, I guess. Luckily, the bells and whistles that are on the Steam version aren't necessary. Like, obviously, given that I've been working with Metabang for a good few years now, you can work with what it's got pretty easily. Doshi, I just answered your question. If you ask again, I'm gonna time you out. Pay attention. Hello there. I'm working on a commission for a user who goes by Ghost of a troll OC of theirs from Homestuck. And they asked me to, like, update the character's design and, like, change it. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the whole character design yet. You've only seen the top of the head. As far as I know, you seem to have, like, just come in. Oh, my my PNG tuber. Oh, okay. Thank you. Also, Katie, I think I mentioned the Pokemon only go up to Gen 7, so I don't think Kaparaja is available. Feeling a bit eepy right now. You think you're gonna go to bed there, Cat? These little Pokemon things are part of a program called Streaming Avatars, and it basically makes like it gives avatars to your streaming audience. It is a $15 program, but I've found that it's like really worth it because everybody enjoys interacting with it so much. And it's not like Pokemon by default. You have to download some add-ons in order to like have Pokemon there. Like for the test stream, when I was like testing out that program for the first time, I only had the first 150 Pokemon available just to, test it out. And luckily things worked pretty well, so I went ahead and just like got all the rest. But like I said, it's only available up to Generation 7. So please keep that in mind when you are selecting a Pokemon for yourself. Yeah, on top of like, being cute and everything, it's also interactive. So it's like you can make your Pokemon jump or attack other people's Pokemon or do a little like Club Penguin style dance. There's a few other things, but I'm not entirely sure what all of them are. Have I mentioned that I hate doing line art? Yeah, you can just do like exclamation jump to jump, exclamation attack to attack, etc. If you want to change your Pokemon, do exclamation avatar and then put in the name of the Pokemon that you want. So, for example, with me, I did exclamation avatar Hypno. And as you can see what Katie's been doing, she's been changing her Pokemon a lot. How long have I been drawing? Do you mean like in the context of like how long have I been drawing today, or how long have I been drawing over my life? Today. Haven't been drawing for too long. Let's see, I've been streaming for about an hour and 35 minutes. 10 of that was the countdown, about 20 of that was catching up with people, so I'd say about an hour. And over the course of that hour, I did the sketch that you can see me tracing over for the line art. You know, Katie, since you were saying poison beats fairy, I actually started thinking about why poison would be, like, super effective against fairy. And I'm wondering if it's because, like, in a bunch of fairy tales, particularly the one that comes to mind is Snow White, but it's always like, you know, someone is poisoned in a fairy tale. And, like, that's the case in Sleeping Beauty, too. It may not be, like, technically poison, but, like, I feel like the curse that was put on Aurora is a type of poison in and of itself. Like, it's not a scientific poison so much as a magic poison, I suppose. What do you do outside of drawing, like other hobbies? I enjoy role-playing with my Moirail, Sierra, and I also like playing video games every so often. I like to cook. There's a few YouTube channels that I enjoy, and I've also been getting into media preservation lately, as well as like weaving. As far as the media preservation goes, I have a VCR that I've learned how to hook up to my computer and record the footage from VHSs that I put in it. So far, I have successfully recorded footage from 2 tapes, and I actually need to do more that my dad asked me to do. So hopefully I'll be able to do that sometime. Ooh. Those are a couple of crusty. There we go. Yeah, I was eating a little bit before the stream, so there might be a couple of crumbs on my tablet that my pen kind of strokes against. And as for the weaving part that I mentioned, I've only just started practicing it, but my dad helped me to make a cardboard mitten-shaped loom, And I have made my first mitten with it. But I think the material that I used for it isn't quite right. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board about that. And no, I'm not a teenager. I am 30 years old. I live on my own. I have my own apartment. I just happen to live near my parents, so I can see them frequently. And my dad, like me, is an artist too. So that's how he was able to help me make the loom. He had like a big measuring thing at his place and an X-Acto knife. So together we were able to work on making that loom. And it works well. Like I said, I've made a mitten with it. But I need to reconsider the type of yarn that I was using. I've dabbled with sewing, but it's not something that I've ever, like, stuck with. My mom does sewing, though, every once in a while. That depends, Addie. Before I keep answering questions or, like, say hi to anyone, would you mind telling me, like, yours and your sister's, ages in the chat? Just because I'm, like, you know, I don't want anyone who's, like, too young to be interacting with my channel or my streams or anything, and it's just for my own personal comfort, so I hope you don't mind me asking. Every once in a while, you know, at the bottom of the screen where the scrolling text is, you should be able to see, like, the age limit for, like, users and stuff on my channel. Yeah, there we go. DNI if you are 15 or younger. Yeah, I was kind of getting that vibe. Bye, Addie. Yeah, I wasn't the only one getting that kind of vibe, was I? Like, I don't want to be mean, but when you can tell, you can tell. wasn't paying much attention because you're with family at the moment. Hi, Roxas's family! I finally managed to send off the care package. Hopefully it gets to you soon. We still do stuff like that every once in a while, Katie. Like, in particular, when it comes to Kath, whenever like any of their family members walk into a room, we'll be like, "Hey, Kathy's dad," or something like that. Yep, you're racking up a good bit of stardust there, Roxas. What are you planning to spend it on? Not sure yet? Well, feel free to look at Mecha's Tumblr for like all the stuff you can redeem with your Stardust. Maybe you'll think of something. You just stop spending my Stardust so much and save it. Yeah, you seem to keep, being like, man, I don't have a whole lot of Stardust. Ads covering the chat? That's weird. I did select the stream for me to only put in, like, ads manually. And I usually only do that when I, like, take a BRB break. But as you can see, I've been, like, drawing this entire time, so I haven't put in any ads. that might have something to do with it. Roxas is kind of famous around these parts for having terrible internet connection, to the point where there is a sound effect in my server that you can activate during voice calls. That's just like, it's from an episode of our Let's Read Homestuck with Friends series, right? And his internet was particularly bad that day, and it kind of like warped his voice on the call at one point. And whoa. Alright, I think that fixed it. I just did a little dabbling in voice mod. I think it kinda glitched out a little bit, so hopefully y'all can hear me now. Alright, I got that fixed then. So, since that gave me a bit of mild panic, I'm gonna go ahead and, like, save this work in progress before I forget. But yeah, as I was trying to say, it was a live stream where Roxas's internet was particularly bad that day, and the bad internet connection made his voice warp, and so the way his words came out, it sounded, it like sped him up a little bit, and so it was like, I hate my shitty internet. And so I managed to turn that into a sound effect on my Discord server. When people are in calls and they suddenly lose internet connection, when they come back, they can just go, I hate my shitty internet. Katie, I appreciate like the sentiment of what you're like trying to communicate, but I don't really like keeping track of like how many viewers are in the stream. Because I know people tend to focus a lot on numbers. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to do that so much. I would rather just focus on, like, the people who are here and making sure that we're having a good time. Plus, I know that there are plenty of, trolls out there who are always just itching to be like, you only have a few viewers. You're unpopular, and that makes you pathetic. And it's like, no, you're just dumb. Hello, Stego Sir. I think this is the first time I've seen you in chat. Are you new around these parts? If so, welcome in, make yourself at home. I'm just a guy who likes making cozy content and doing cozy streams where I work on art and just chat calmly with the viewers. On and you immediately fell in love with the silly seal overlay on top of the chat. That is my mascot, I guess channel mascot, and his name is Fat Fuck. He's based on an actual plushie that I have in real life. And back when I'd first gotten him, I used to take pictures of him every Friday and post them, and that was Fat Fuck Friday. I had to stop them though because, like, when you're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're stuck inside, there's only so many different kinds of photos of a plushie of a seal that you can take when you're cooped up in the same location. And Rads, if you're here, I don't know if you, like, saw during SockCon at my booth, but I did make the little ghosts holding the banner like Fat Fuck ghosts. So don't you worry, longtime fans of mine, Fat Fuck was indeed part of the booth. Yeah, if I can start, like, going different places and taking more pictures of Fat Fuck. Maybe I'll start doing Fat Fuck Fridays again, but for now, I don't know. I'm gonna do the scissor handles on another layer just so I can, like, you know, if need be, I can delete the parts that are overlapping with other parts. Ooh, big eraser, too big. Right, and I'm not gonna, like, outline the scars, because I think it'll look better if I don't. I'm just gonna make them a different color. Alright, well, I'm glad you could come to the stream, Rads. Thanks for watching. Hope to see more of you in the future. And, no, Stego, sir, this is not one of my characters. I'm doing a commission right now for a client who asked me to redesign their troll OC here with a few extra details given to me, but for the most part I was granted artistic freedom with this piece. So a lot of this is just stuff that I came up with for the character, but it is my client's character. Oh, by the way, Stego, sir. If you don't mind my asking, and I'm asking because, like, this just happened minutes before you entered the stream. We had somebody come in here who was, like, you know, too young for my comfort. Like, I have a DNI that says, please don't interact with my stream and stuff if you're, like, 15 or younger. So if you don't mind me just, like, asking for a quick age check, I would appreciate that. Again, it's nothing personal, it's just, like, you know, comfort, etc., etc. Yeah, every so often, I'll talk about, like, you know, kind of suggestive topics on my channel and on my streams and stuff. And so I'm like, I don't want full-on minors to be around for that. So that's just why I have, you know, the check there. Alright, thank you for confirming that with me. Like I said, it was just due to the fact that we literally just had someone in the chat who was, like, you know, very talkative and stuff. And, like, I appreciated their enthusiasm, but I had already tapped the sign that said, hey, please don't interact with my stream if you're 15 or younger. And they had said a few minutes prior that they had to go because of that, but then they didn't go and they just kept typing. And so I was just like, all right, I'm timing you out. Like, I've already told you once, you acknowledged that you weren't supposed to be here. So it's time for you to go. It's like, if you've already acknowledged, you should go. Why would you then continue to stay? As if I wouldn't notice. Oh, also, for the eyes. You know, normally trolls' eyes are this kind of yellowish color, but I'm thinking, since I want to kind of illustrate that he's been up for a few days, like doesn't get much sleep, I was kind of thinking about, like, adding just a tiny bit of red to his eyes like this. On top of, like, the dark circles that I'm gonna be adding later. Yeah, they might not technically be high, but they would have a lot of caffeine in their system. Alright, and this character is a teal blood, which means their blood color is about the same color as their pants. So I'll drop that there. And I might make the goggles the same color. Ooh, maybe with red lenses, like candy red, like Terezi's glasses. Bright, bright, bright red. Coffee or energy drinks or just something. Speaking of, I'm gonna take a sip of my own. Yeah, I want to color in, like, all the rest of their outfit that was already provided in the reference before I get to coloring the stuff that I came up with. Up with stray pixels. I've never had a single sip of Red Bull in my life. I keep hearing that it's gross, so I don't want to drink gross. Alright, now for the million-dollar question. What colors should I make the patchwork coat? Do you think I should just make it like other hemo spectrum colors, or just like various shades of brown, or what do y'all think? What do they do as a character again? Let me pull up the description. They're an avid conspiracy theorist and enjoy taxidermy. For some reason, a bunch of people think they're a cannibal, probably because they've been seen stealing bodies, but it's actually for their private taxidermy collection, so it's fine. The only thing for sure is that they want the hair shorter and choppier, which I believe I have done, but yeah, that's basically the character description in a nutshell. Ah, yes, and before I forget, let me do those two scars that I mentioned. Clip. Lower the opacity. And merge. There, we're looking pretty good, I think. Let's see. Yeah, did want to do that. Ooh, thank you for the donation.
At Stegasira donated $5 New Zealand dollars, 100 emoji.
Thank you so much. A coat made of the skin of other trolls would just deepen the assumption that he's a cannibal. True, true. Oh, Lynx Cat, the thing about Homestuck trolls and, like, creatures in Homestuck as a whole, especially on, like, the troll planet, is that red isn't the only color of blood there is, and in fact, red blood, like ours, is seen as a mutation. Let me pull up a picture of the hemo spectrum really quick, just so you can see. Homestuck hemo spectrum. Google is taking too long. I swear I can see the image on Google Images. It's just taking forever to, like, load the thing. Okay, there. Now, copy. Back to the art thing. Paste. These are the blood colors of the trolls. The further to the left you get, the lower the caste, and then as you go further this direction, the higher the caste goes, and the leader of the troll planet is actually a fuchsia blood. So, like, you know, trolls with blood colors around this area have more privilege than trolls with colors around this area. But yeah, that's the general idea. And I'm thinking, like, you know, since troll skin is, like, gray like that, I'm thinking I start with, like, various hemospectrum colors all over the coat, then cover it with a layer of gray, and turn down the gray opacity just enough so that you can see that it's, like, different hemospectrum colors. Let's see. Really didn't know that, never really got into Homestuck, so this is new information to me. Well, do I have good news for you if you're looking to get into Homestuck. Me and a bunch of my friends did a live stream series a couple years ago where every other week we would sit down and read Homestuck on live streams for about 2 hours at a time, and we have read the entire webcomic. So if you would like to read it, perchance, and you don't really know where to start, or you're not sure how well you'd be able to focus, or you're just looking to, like, you know, go along with some goofs and stuff and, like, enjoy commentary and things like that, definitely consider my Let's Read Homestuck with Friends series, because we did that for years and we put a lot of work into it. So I always recommend it to people who want to get into Homestuck but aren't quite sure how. Hello, Charlie. Welcome to the stream. I think you're a new face around here. Really quick, I hope you don't mind me asking, just because, like, I've had this happen within, like, the last few minutes. I do have a DNI in place for people who are 15 or younger. So if I genuinely hope you don't mind me asking, like, if you are above that age range. It's just for my personal comfort, because sometimes I talk about, like, suggestive things and, like, you know, make suggestive jokes and things like that. And I don't want people who are too young for that kind of thing to be around. So I hope you don't mind me asking. But yeah, there's a good bit of new faces around here today. I'm pleasantly surprised. Yeah, if nothing else, Lynx Cat, I know this is like, you know, further along in the comic, and so you wouldn't have, you know, as much context for it. But if you want kind of like, if you want to navigate the vibe of like the best of times on our live streams and stuff, I would suggest watching our reaction to S Cascade, which is like one of the most important flashes in Homestuck. If you don't want, like, you know, super mega spoilers, then don't watch it, obviously. But if you don't mind spoilers and you just want, like, the general vibe, that's a good one to look into. Also, like, I'm not entirely sure how spoilery it would be for someone who's never read Homestuck in the first place, because it's like, you don't get a whole lot of context, and even though my platonic wife, Sierra, does some explaining in the video, it's still not, I don't think it would be quite enough for somebody who's never ever read it to, like, be able to understand. It's like someone who's never read Homestuck, when watching something spoilery, would not be able to understand when Sierra is saying something along the lines like, oh, John Egbert is, like, initiating the Scratch. Like, who's John Egbert? What's the Scratch? What are you talking about? It's not necessarily someone from Homestuck, but it is a Homestuck OC. This is a commission that I'm working on that somebody ordered of a redesign of their Homestuck character, who is very much into taxidermy, and so I figured, like, a cool patchwork coat would be a good design idea. They gave me a creative liberty when it came to this character, so they didn't tell me to do the patchwork coat or anything. This is just, like, what I thought would look nice. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want the colors to go. I might even, like, change my mind as I go, because for all the patches that I added, there's not a lot of room for all these colors. Hello. I'm just working on a commission. I actually just explained what it was for. Because somebody else asked. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave violet and fuchsia out of the coat, so I'm just gonna go as high as purple. But I think I might take out some of the lime spots, because lime is, in Homestuck, a rarer kind of blood color, due to the fact that trolls with lime-colored blood were hunted to extinction because they were a threat to the monarchy on that planet. Alright, so there's step 1, I think. I'm just gonna squeeze in, like, I think a gold up here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the gray of this guy's skin color. And I'm gonna overlay it over those patches and turn down the opacity just a bit. And this way it kind of looks like skin. Oops. There we go. Hey, nope. And then just to make sure that, you know, different parts are distinguishable from one another, add a bit of shadows. This, I believe, is a flat color commission that they ordered, so I'm not going to go too crazy with the shadows or anything, but I feel like this is enough to get the point across. Right, speaking of which, gotta do the dark circles. How do I know what colors to use when shading? Well, sometimes it depends. For something like this, I just used the color black with the blending mode on that layer set to overlay. That's one of my favorite ways to shade. Other times I'll like use purple for my shading on a different blending mode, and most of the time that'll look good with the colors that I tend to use in my art. But if I'm doing something that's like primarily other colors and the purple shading isn't looking good, then I'll alter the hue until it's a different color and looks a little bit nicer with the overall piece. It just depends on like what's cohesive with the colors that I already have there. Right, and for the backpack, I think I'm gonna make it this color, like borrow it from the boots. By the way, did Charlie mention their age, or did I miss that? Right, red, red. Kind of a darker red for the little sewing tomato. Oh, okay. I am sorry if I, like, miss any messages in the chat, but, like, I tend to focus when I'm drawing, so I only kind of glance at the chat every so often. Color the sewing needle. And the sewing scissors. You're asking a lot of the same questions that that kid that I mentioned was asking earlier, but I use Metabang, the free version, not the one that you pay for on Steam. Alright, there we go. Those papers are colored in. They're gloves. What color to make the gloves? I feel like making them teal would be a bit obvious. Maybe like a darker teal? Like maybe something like this. Want to make sure that I don't accidentally copy over the color of the backpack straps. Just the gloves. So I can mess with the hue. Yeah, green looks kind of nice. Brown is okay. The dark red is kind of cool. And the purple and blues aren't really fitting. So I'm definitely thinking either like the kind of olive color or the kind of reddish color? What do you guys think? Do y'all think like this kind of green or like this darkish red? Try dark orange. That's brown. Dark orange is brown. Green because they look like garden gloves. True, and that would be easy for someone to dispose of. All right, I think I'm gonna take one more BRB, and then I'm gonna come back and we can finish this, and potentially I can also move on to that other art piece of mine that I want to finish. So BRB, I'll be back in a minute, and then we can keep working on this. Enjoy some fan art in the meantime. See you in a bit. Alright, and we are back. So to finish this guy off, I'm thinking making the buckles of the backpack kind of an off gold like that. And adding just like bare minimum shading to help it come off as metallic. Little artist tip 101 though, you can make you know, as many metal shines as you want on like metallic objects, but the thing that will really amp something up to make it look metallic is to color the outlines. Because like, again, going from this piece to the other one that I'm working on real quick, this buckle here, which I'm leaving here because, like, you know, the person asked for flat color and I want to leave the line art as it is to match with the art style that they sent me. But yeah, compare a buckle like this to, say, the gold jewelry that this character is wearing. In particular, let's zoom in on the crown here. And let's just take in how much more metallic this looks with not only the shading and stuff, but also the colored outline. And how if I were to, say, turn off the colored outline for this crown, suddenly it doesn't quite look as good. But then you turn it back on, and that looks gold as hell, baby. But yeah, back to this goofy goober. I think the flat color is mostly done, but there's still like one other thing that I want to do for this guy, so let's get all of the color layers into a group. And I want to find a good splatter brush. I'm gonna go with... See, there's one that I have in mind. Where is it? Splash, there it is. And I'm just gonna take that and the Hemo Spectrum colors, and one at a time, I'm just gonna go through and add a few little splatters to the boots. Don't want, like, you know, too much of any one color, so I'm gonna try to be sparing with each color. Last one will be purple. I'm thinking a tiny bit of the same thing over the glove. So I'm just gonna repeat that process. One. All right, this is looking pretty good to me. Just compare one more time. Ooh, I know something I want to add. And hair shine. Select the outside, reverse it, bucket tool. That makes it subtle, but that's okay. And I think I also want to add some reflection on the goggle lenses. Hello, Evie. If you see yourself on the screen and you're not an Eevee, you can just do like exclamation avatar Eevee and you will turn into an Eevee. Do you think I might mess around with the coat a little more? Just to see if I can make it darker somehow? Maybe I can. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, let me just do something real quick here. Oh, whoops. Nope, nope. Come on. There. Color. Alright, see, by doing this, I'm able to see, like the light balance between each color. And so, like, I wanted the coat to be not as dark as the rest of the outfit, but still darker than his skin. So I figured just making it a tiny bit darker like that would help, and let's see how this looks. That looks so good! I love little hacks like that. Alright, with all of that, I think I'm going to combine, give this guy an outline, like a white outline. Might even thicken this part real quick first. So expand. Let's do 3 for this part. Give him a thicker black outline. Expand again by 10. Make the layer underneath it white. And so now, if, for example, the background were a different color, this is how he looks now. Love how the hair shines always look like little bats with my style. It's frickin' bats. I love Halloween. Alright, I think this guy is pretty much done. What do y'all think? Is there, like, anything else that you think I should add or change? Or do you think this is, like, probably good? Looks good. Alrighty then. I think I'll call this dude here. Shine to the boots? I'm not sure. I think the boots are supposed to look, you know, old and worn and stuff, and that's why they have the blood splatters all over them. But yeah, I think this looks good too. So I'm going to save it and call it done here. And here's hoping that my client likes it. But I do think, since I've been streaming for roughly 3 hours at this point, that I'm just going to go ahead and also call the stream done. This commission took a little bit longer than anticipated, but I'm very happy with the result. And so I'll see if I can do another commission stream next week, maybe even 2 commission streams. But yeah, this is it for the streams this week. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm thinking about having the Over the Garden Wall movie night tomorrow evening if you're in my Discord server. So consider joining my server so you can be a part of that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Regular spiel, if you liked the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and also leave a comment, because YouTube algorithm sucks and only boosts channels lately based on, like, how much people are interacting with videos. So, you know, liking, sharing, commenting, etc. That helps boost my stuff in the algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so to join the Starlight Brigade, and if you would like to become a stellar supporter, click the blue join button next to the subscribe button. It costs only $2.99 a month and helps to support me greatly. I also have donations open in my Ko-Fi right now, as well as 4 commission slots if you're interested in getting some customized art of your own. I have one more Homestuck adoptable to sell as well, so check that out if you're interested. And that's all for now. Take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and I shall see you all in the next stream, whenever that may be. Peace out, starlings!